Thank you. Thank you very, very much. My goodness, it is great to be at the Wingding. You guys having fun? It is wonderful to be here with all of you. My name is Martin O'Malley. I am a Democrat, and I am running for President of the United States for one reason and one reason only, to rebuild the American dream that you and I share. I want to acknowledge as we get started here today, or as we continue, I should say, that we are joined by one of the finest human beings that was ever sent by the people of Iowa to the United States Congress, and he is with us today. Would you please acknowledge the presence with us of former Congressman Berkeley Bedell, who is with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Berkeley is 94 years old. And when I met with him just a couple of hours ago, he said, these are my passions: climate change, affordable college for our kids, and getting big money out of our national politics. Well, Berkeley, we share your passion, and I cannot thank you enough for being my friend, for encouraging me and supporting me in this tough race. Thank you, Berkeley Bedell. You and I are part of a living, self-creating mystery, my friends, called the United States of America. But the promise that's at the heart of that mystery is no abstraction. It is the very real promise. It is the very real covenant between us as a people, that wherever you start, whatever your parents' incomes, whatever their zip code, wherever you start, but through your own hard work and your own labors, your own talent and your own love of family, you can get ahead. Call it an economy that works for all of us. Call it the American dream. But whatever you call it, the truth of the matter is that it worked well for most of our 240 years as a country. And if we cast aside the failed trickle-down economics of our past, we can make it work again for all Americans. Now let me ask you a question. Show of hands. How many of you firmly believe that you have enjoyed a better quality of life than your parents and grandparents? Raise your hand if that's true for you. Almost every hand, right? Let me ask you this tougher question. How many of you believe just as firmly that your children and grandchildren will enjoy a better quality of life than you have? Raise your hands. A couple, a few. That is the most important question now at the center of our table of democracy. And from Clear Lake, Iowa, to Manchester, New Hampshire, and all points in between, I hear the same concerns voiced by families everywhere. And I bet you do as well. Our economy should work for all of us, not just for a few of us. Wages should rise, not fall with productivity, shouldn't they? No American child should go to bed every night hungry, and earning a college degree shouldn't saddle a student or a whole generation of students with a mountain of crushing debt for their lifetime. And our grandparents should live out their golden years in dignity, not in poverty. And all of these are pillars of the 15 goals to rebuild the American dream that you and I share, that I have rolled out this week here in Iowa. One by one, policy action by policy action, each one reinforcing and complementing the others. Bold ideas, concrete plans, actions to make our country stronger, to make the American dream true again in the most important places in our country, the kitchen tables of every single American family. Leading with ideas, because how you campaign determines how you govern. Now, I am not the only candidate for president in our party who holds progressive values. But I am the only candidate for president in our party with 15 years of executive experience as a big city mayor and as a governor, turning those progressive values into actions and results. It's about getting things done, isn't it? It's about new leadership. It's about actions, not words. In Baltimore, at a critical time in our city's history, we saved lives by reducing record high violence to record lows, and we worked to help thousands of our courageous neighbors free themselves from the scourge of drug addiction. Actions, not words. When I ran for governor of Maryland, I set out bold goals for where we wanted to take our state. And I did something that all the political consultants will tell you not to do. I led my state forward by actually putting deadlines on those goals. And we made nation-leading progress even in the course of a recession. Instead of cutting education funding, we increased funding for public education by 37%. Memo to Governor Branstad, and by making that investment, we made our public schools the best public schools in America for 5 years in a row. Actions, not words. Actions. In Maryland, we defended the highest median income in the nation all through the recession, and we created a faster rate of jobs than our neighbors north and south, not by trying to cut our way to prosperity, but by doing more rather than less. Actions, not words. We froze college tuition for 4 years in a row to make college more affordable for every family. We passed the living wage and we raised the minimum wage. Actions, not words. We expanded voting rights. We expanded family leave. We passed driver's licenses for new American immigrants, and we banned the sale of assault weapons on our streets. Actions, not words. And together, because of the belief we share in the dignity of every individual, we fought for the DREAM Act and won, and we fought for marriage equality and we won. Actions, not words. In tougher times than these, Franklin Delano Roosevelt told us not to be afraid. John Kennedy told us that to govern is to choose. I say to you, progress is a choice. Job creation is a choice. And whether we give our children a future with less opportunity or a future with more opportunity, this too is a choice. Now, I am joined here today by a couple of my kids. My wife, Katie, and I have 4 great kids. And our oldest daughter, of whom I am very proud, is with us. She is a first grade teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools. Grace O'Malley right over there. True story. About 60 days ago, after her father announced for president in Baltimore, all her colleagues were there and people from the school. So when she returned to her first grade class, 100% adorable, eager to learn African-American kids. Little girl Sabina came up to her, having heard the buzz about Grace's father, pulled her on the sleeve and said, "Miss O'Malley, I'm not so sure about this idea of your father running for president, because frankly, I kind of like Barack Obama." Well, a lot of us like Barack Obama, and for good reason. As a nation, we have come a long way since the Wall Street crash and the Bush recession of 2008, when our country teetered on the brink of a second Great Depression. We elected a new leader in Barack Obama to move our country forward, and that is exactly what he has done. And the good news is this. The good news is this. We have now, for 65 months in a row, created positive job creation in our country, more jobs created every month for 65 months in a row. Give America, American business, and our president a round of applause. But the hard truth of our times is this. 70% of us are now earning the same or less than we were 12 years ago. And that is the first time that has happened this side of World War II. In other words, there is a growing injustice in our country, an economic inequality that threatens to tear us apart. Wealth and power have been so tightly concentrated in the hands of so very few that it is actually taking opportunity out of the homes and the wallets and the neighborhoods of the many. And this did not happen by accident. Powerful, wealthy, special interests have used our government to create in our own country an economy that is leaving a majority of our people behind. The promise of the American dreams is on the ropes. And most days in this Republican-controlled Congress, it doesn't even look like it's a fair fight, does it? Now, my father went to college on a GI Bill after serving and flying 33 missions over Japan. But today, thank you. He went to college because of a generous, far-seeing nation that understood the more he and his generation learned, the more they would earn and the better our entire economy would do. But today, look at the choices we're making. Today, we're saddling our graduating kids and their families with more college debt than any developed nation on the planet, and it does not have to be this way. And meanwhile, as wages flatline or decline for most of us, family-owned businesses and farms are finding it harder and harder to compete with the ever larger concentrations of corporate power and monopoly. Get this. Last year, Wall Street bonuses alone totaled twice what every American worker working at minimum wage earned combined. Now, do you tell me how it is that not a single Wall Street CEO was ever convicted of a single crime related to the 2008 meltdown? Not a single one. Tell me what we've come to as a country, that you can get pulled over for having a broken taillight, but if you wreck the nation's economy, you're totally untouchable. That is not the American dream. That is not how our economy is supposed to work, and that is not how our country is supposed to work. Look, the genius of our country is this, that in every single generation, we take actions to involve more and more of our people more fully in the economic, the social, and the political life of our country. That's how we grow our economy. That's how we create an economy that works for all of us. And in order to create that economy again, we must only first return to our true selves. And we must remember that our economy is not money. Our economy is people. All of our people. A stronger middle class is not the consequence of economic growth. A stronger middle class is the cause of economic growth. Whatever our current division, certainly we can agree on this one, that no American family who works hard and plays by the rules should have to raise their children in poverty. Therefore, we must take action. We must take action together to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour wherever and however we can. And we must return to the economic justice of always paying overtime pay for overtime work. We must make it easier and not harder for workers to join labor unions and collectively bargain for better wages for all. And we must advance the cause of paid family leave so that women can participate more fully in our economy, because when women succeed, America succeeds. And so this week, I put forward 15 goals to rebuild the American dream, improving the net median wealth of American families by at least $25,000 within 10 years, increasing wages by 4% a year within 4 years, cutting youth unemployment in half within 3 years, full employment for American veterans. And instead of cutting Social Security, we must expand Social Security. And if we want wages to go up again for all Americans, then let us bring 11 million of our neighbors out of the off-the-books shadow economy by passing comprehensive immigration reform. The enduring symbol of our nation is not the barbed wire fence or chain link fence. It is the Statue of Liberty. So together, let's take the actions necessary to make debt-free college a reality for every American family within 5 years. And let us square our shoulders to the challenge of climate change by moving America forward to a 100% clean electric grid by 2050 and create 5 million jobs along the way. We are standing at the threshold of a new era of American progress. But together we must take the actions necessary to walk through that door, to rebuild America's cities and towns as places of justice and opportunity for all, to invest in our infrastructure, rural broadband and clean water, to forge a new foreign policy of engagement and collaboration, and new alliances with like-minded people around the globe to reduce threats before they rise to a level where it seems that the only options we have are military. But none of these things can be accomplished by words alone. We must take action. There are also a few things we need to stop doing as a party and as a country, among them giving a free pass to the bullies of Wall Street to work over the people of Main Street. We must reinstate Glass-Steagall, and we must prosecute financial crimes. And if a bank is too big to fail, too big to jail, and too big to manage, then it's probably too damn big and needs to be broken up before it breaks us up. And we must stop sending American jobs and profits overseas with bad trade deals like the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Many of us remember NAFTA. We traded away good manufacturing jobs like the ones at Maytag and Newton. And in return, we got back empty promises and empty pockets. I am fundamentally opposed to secret trade deals that our Congress has to vote on before you or I even have a chance to read them. It's not what other countries are doing to us, it's what we're not doing for ourselves. We need to build up our own American economy. Don't you agree? How many of you watched the Republican debate last week? A few of you? You didn't hear one word about climate change, did you? No. Or the minimum wage? No. Or voting rights? No. Not one word. But you certainly got your fill of talk of raising the retirement age for seniors while cutting taxes for billionaires. You heard a lot of denigrating language about immigrants, new American immigrants, and women. Your own Republican governor, Terry Branstad, has shown us the direction in which their party would take us, hasn't he? He cuts taxes for big corporations and then tells you you don't have the money to invest in your children's future. Welcome to today's Republican Party. Their party once had visionaries and leaders. Lincoln asserted our common humanity. Eisenhower liberated the world and built our nation's highway system to connect us. Now Republicans create traffic jams, denigrate new American immigrants and women, and dismiss everything from climate science to vaccines. Give them a few more weeks, and they'll even be shunning Copernicus. Our nation needs new consensus, not new divisions. Our country needs new leadership, not new hates. And today, for the progress of our nation, that new leadership must come from the Democratic Party. I leave you with these final thoughts. Final thoughts. The great poet laureate of the American dream, Bruce Springsteen, once asked, "Is a dream a lie if it don't come true? Or is it something worse?" Whether that dream is true and is made true is really not about the big banks. In fact, this election is not about the big banks, and it's not even about big money trying to take over our politics. It's about us, you and me. It's about us, you period, S period. It's about whether we still have the goodness, the grit, the determination, and the compassion to forge a new consensus, to rebuild the truth of the American dream we share. I believe we do, and I'm betting you believe we do as well, because we are a good people. We are a generous people, and we have only the need of new leadership and a belief in one another to forge that new consensus for American progress. And you here in Iowa all have a vital choice to make next year. It is a choice that people will ask you about for years to come. And so after this election, when a child with a world of learning ahead asks who you voted or caucused for, I want you to tell them, I voted for you. When you see a mom or dad sweating through a long shift in order to give their children a better future, I want you to tell them, I voted for you. And when you see a mom working away at 2 jobs to send her first son or daughter to college, I want you to tell her, I voted for you. Or if you see a young mom or father searching for a decent job to feed their family and keep a roof over their kid's head, I want you to be able to tell them, I voted for you. We are Democrats for good reasons, because ours is the party of the people, ours is the party of action, ours is the party of our children's better future, and ours is the party that will rebuild that American dream and make the promise real for all Americans again. Thank you, and I need your help. Thanks a lot.